Hi everyone! Today I'm going to be showing you how I go from no makeup to this perfect skin perfection face. This routine is all about how I cover up my dark spots and hyperpigmentation, so if you suffer with that too, this is the perfect video for you. So let's just go ahead and get started. The first thing I use is my Supergoop mineral sunscreen. Now you guys are going to notice that this sunscreen makes me very blue, but I am okay with that because I like using mineral sunscreen not only to minimize the sun from making my dark spots darker, but also because I feel like it has a really good ingredient called dimethicone, which makes it a really good primer. So I noticed that my lips were a little chapped, so I went ahead and put a little lip gloss on, and now we're going to get into my hyperpigmentation color correcting routine. So I take a concealer that's darker than my skin tone, a little darker, more reddish, and I just go around my whole entire face and apply a ton of it all over. I have a lot of hyperpigmentation and dark spots. I used to be really insecure about it, but now I'm comfortable with this routine, and it just really helps me feel more confident when I go through and do this routine before I go out. So that's how it looks with everything just on my face. And then I'm not speeding up this video because I want you guys to see how long it takes for me to blend everything in. I find that if I blend it out too quickly or not enough, it's kind of harder to cover up the concealer. So I just like to take my time and blend it in as much as I can, but not too much because you don't want the dark spots to peek through the concealer. So just take your time and blend it, and that's how it'll look, and that's how it's different from before. So now we're going to go ahead and set the concealer. This is the Almay Smart shade in the color medium. And again, just take your time with setting it. It's going to make sure that it lasts. You don't want your concealer to be moving around under your foundation because you really want it to lock in there so it covers up all that hyperpigmentation. So I know you guys might be wondering if the sunscreen is going to give me flashback. Usually the sunscreen doesn't. I don't know what it is, if it's because it's just all over my face or my foundation is just tough enough, but it doesn't give me flashback. So that is how I look after I color correct and have sunscreen. Now we're going to get into the foundation. So I use the e.l.f. brush, I forget what it's called, I'll put it on the screen, but I use that brush to blend out my foundation, and I just add lines of foundation to my face. I try to do as little as possible as first because I would rather go back and add more rather than add too much. I find that when I add too much, it's just kind of turned into like a cake face, and we just want that natural base makeup where it just looks like it could possibly be your skin. A lot of people think that this whole foundation routine is my natural skin, and I'm like, nah, my skin is not perfect, but I'm okay with it because I learned how to be comfortable with my skin and get flawless skin with makeup. So I personally love makeup. A lot of you guys are going to be clowning me in the comments saying whatever you guys want to say, but I am fine with my makeup routine, and I'm fine with sharing it with you guys because I know there's other people out there that have hyperpigmentation that want to learn how to cover it up so they can be more confident too. So here you go. But yeah, just take your time with blending in your foundation. I actually put it on my eyelids just to, again, give myself that nice even base, and you can take it down more and blend it on your neck as well. I'm eventually going to have to change foundation shades because it's summertime coming up, but I'm going to try to get rid of this foundation before that happens. And this Revlon foundation is actually my favorite. It's been my favorite for years. If you've been on this channel, you know that. So I 100% recommend this Revlon foundation. I use the normal one because I have oily skin. And yeah, I'm just, again, taking my time blending everything in so you guys can see this is an actual process. It doesn't just take 5 minutes. You want to make sure that you take your time so that it looks as natural as possible. Next, we're going to go in with concealer. Now I'm using 2 concealers, and I have been using 2 concealers as of late just because I have a lot of concealer. And also it's just fun to play around with different colors so you can get like a little bit more of a dynamic color change on your face. The technique I'm using is probably one I've seen on TikTok. I noticed people are using less concealer nowadays. So I'm just going back in with a different color. And this again, you guys, just gonna give you a little razzle dazzle. You don't have to use 2 different colors, but I have a ton of concealers, so that is why I am using 2. But if you only have 1 concealer color, don't feel like you have to go out and buy 2. This has nothing to do with hyperpigmentation. I can say though that adding concealer to your face and kind of just bringing out more color in your face is going to give you more of like a flawless look. Your face isn't just gonna look flat, and it's gonna allow the sun and the light to just reflect off the parts of your face that you really want to show, and it makes your pictures look so much better. So take your time, and you guys will see a difference when I show you guys the difference like with concealer, without. So yeah, again, you just want to make sure that you're taking your time blending everything out. I'm showing you guys in real time just so you guys know it's not a 1, 2, 3 quick step. You gotta take your time if you want your foundation and your face base to just look flawless. And yeah, I know it seems kind of redundant, but definitely in the eye area, you really want to work it in because you have a lot of lines in your eyes, like a little bit of wrinkles. So you want to make sure that product isn't getting trapped in those lines, because if it does, it's going to show throughout the day. So take your time, you guys, and make sure that you really blend it in. And now you can see the difference between concealer and no concealer. Again, like I said, it does make a difference. So try it out if you're not used to doing concealer on your face. Next, we're going back in with our Almay Smart shade, because you always want to set any liquid you put on your face, you always want to set it, especially concealer. So now I kind of messed up on my nose, but easy peasy, just gonna clean it up a bit. And we're just going through everywhere where I possibly had concealer and just patting in the powder. No, the old thing used to do would be to let it bake, but I just find that when I push it in, it kind of settles in more on its own. And I don't really like the powdery look so much, like just sitting on my face. Sometimes I'll try to let it bake, but because it's not summertime yet, I don't want my skin to get used to absorbing too much. Like I'm waiting for that time in the summer. So during the springtime, when the weather's a little bit cooler, I will go ahead and blend in most of the powder right now, just so that my skin knows like everything's gonna be okay. It's not about to be a hot day outside, you know. I'm just comforting the skin, and we don't need all that right now. So this is what it looks like with the powder blended in versus no powder. And now we're gonna go into my favorite contour palette with this brush. It's like I don't know what kind of brush this is, to be honest. Sorry, I'll put it in the description box. This has become one of my favorite parts of my face routine, and it's because recently I took this picture, and I liked this part before I took this picture, but I realized I kind of have a big nose and I'm okay with it. But when I do this routine, I feel like my nose looks a teeny bit smaller, and I just have so much more, like, I feel like my face is just so much cuter when I go ahead and contour it. So I don't go crazy. Lately I've been trying to do a little bit more, you know, make myself look more grown, but I also like looking young. And then we do this cheek thing. Sometimes I do have hair on my face, right? So I get a little nervous when I do this, like, oh, is it going to accentuate the hair on my face? But I don't think it does. Maybe it does. I don't know. I think it's natural for girls to have hair on their face. It might be a little gross to some people. I feel like one day I might get it lasered off, but for now I'm okay with it. So yeah. I do find that you want to go a little hard here though, because you're going to want to blend it out. So if you want to have some kind of, you know, contrast on your face with the contour, you need to kind of go heavy with it, because we're going to blend it out after. So don't be scared, ladies. Add a little bit more of a dimension to your face and go ahead and contour. And yeah, this is how it looks with contour versus no contour. And we're not done yet, so don't freak out. Okay, next we're gonna go in with the e.l.f. and this brush that I found from the 99-cent store. And we are just going to add a little bit more blush on top of the contour. This is again gonna make those cheekbones pop and just give your face a little bit more of like a just a sculpted look, because you want your face to look, you know, real chiseled and ready. And you guys can see how dramatic everything looks, but we're gonna blend that out right now with this L'Oreal powder. This part is going to take forever, and when I mean forever, probably like a few minutes. You don't want to go through this too quickly because your face is gonna look not done. So Take your time when doing this and just go back in with the powder, lightly dab it. I like to use a big fluffy brush so that way it just helps with blending everything in and it's not too much powder being added to my face. And over time you guys will see that those harsh contour colors are going to start to fade and everything's just gonna look a lot more, I wouldn't say like perfectly natural, but it's just gonna all come together. And I really make sure that I'm taking time on my nose because that was a little strong too. Some people like the really strong contour. I like it just enough that it brings out my features, but it doesn't like do too much. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, really take your time and work the brush. Since the product has been sitting on your face, it's not gonna smear so much, but by applying the powder on top of your face, it will kind of blend it down. So it's not just as harsh. So this is the difference from unblended and now blended. And this is pretty much my facial routine, you guys. I'm gonna add a little bit of lip gloss, just, you know, so the whole finished look can be popping. I want it to really just focus on my face base routine and nothing else, just so you guys can see what I do pretty much every day to get this airbrush look. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below if you guys want to see more videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. There are links to all the products below as well, and remember to subscribe. Love you guys. Bye.